Hello and welcome to episode 140 of New Meta Podcast. We're back again, another bumper episode. Marco joins me. How are you doing?
Doing very well, thank you.
Excellent. Adam, likewise. Welcome to the podcast. How are you?
I'm good.
Nice. How's your week been, Marco? How's Dote's been? How's life been?
I'm sure there was a comment that I was saving up to say. One comment was, I noticed you and Adam de-weebed. I got no response to that Steam message. Your Steam pictures.
But I was going to say, yeah, we've gone back to our old states.
What are your names? I don't see the names. I just saw your pictures change back.
So Return of Mudman has become just the Magic T, right?
Yeah, plain and simple.
The namesake.
The Magic T, there you go. And we've got DotA CDWM. .tt.
.tt.
Yeah.
.tt.
What was the TT again?
I thought, so when I originally saw the comments, I thought the TT was like, oh, he's graduated, and then the TT's like the crying face.
Yeah.
But no, it was literally just the T's on my
your Tennessee.
I don't know what you
it was like the
call that
scarf.
thing. Yeah, so I guess for the podcast listeners, I finally had my graduation for my PhD. Delayed it because of COVID or whatever, and so I sent the guys a picture of me in all my hood and cap and gown and I guess it's a stole or whatever. And since it's the University of Tennessee, it has like these large T's across my chest.
Yeah.
And then I thought they were doing TT for, oh, we're so proud, but it was TT literally because I had two T's emblazoned upon me. So, yeah. I'll do this for a while. I also went back to my old profile picture because I was sick of being called a weeb. When you watch the anime related to the game that you've put almost 10,000 hours into, and so you just have a little anime reference namesake, Brave Little Mouse, and then you have a Marcy profile picture, and all of a sudden you're just getting called a weeb every game. It's like, I'm not a fan of this. I'm just going to go back to, one Dota related anime does not make one a weeb.
Yeah, if you're going for the Marcy though, you're asking.
It's particularly weeby.
Yeah. It's but it wasn't a Marcy name. It wasn't like Marcy Fangirl or all these other names I've seen.
There was still a very serious picture, just Marcy's face, and there was about 10 Reddit threads in a row of Marcy MVP straight after the anime came out. So yeah, there's no excuse for the flame.
So yeah, I forsook that title. I went back to my roots.
Yeah, my weeb profile picture was a bit hard to decipher. You sort of couldn't tell what it was unless you saw it bigged up, like if you went into my proper profile. But it was it was one of the dragons, one of the I don't know what they're called from the anime. Yeah. But now we're back to the New Meta Podcast logo and the Magic T, so I'm back to my best behaviour in pubs, basically.
Got the armband on.
Yeah, I know, yeah. No more rage allowed. Not that I rage, of course, but, back best behaviour. A couple of things happened in the Dota world this week. One of them is this supporters club, and how much time we want to spend on it, touch on it. Is this indicating that there's no battle pass then? Because Valve...
That's confirmed. No battle pass.
Wow. It's remarkable that Valve have... it's almost like they've turned down guaranteed millions. That's just like a baller move. And we have this instead.
The supporters club announcement, they said there was going to be no battle pass because last year's battle pass hasn't been, or like the purse hasn't been claimed. So, why? I assume why have another one? It's not like they're going to make an $80 million prize pool. So I guess it kind of.
I actually thought. Yeah, to be honest with you, I actually thought that was the most likely option, that they would just have a double TI, as ridiculous as that would be.
Insane.
I mean, that would be absolutely absurd. But I thought Valve aren't going to just turn down the money that they'll make from Battle Pass. That's their biggest product all year. And also, what else can they put the prize towards? I didn't think they were going to do it towards DPC. So I just thought, yeah, they might just think, screw it, we're a company that's here to make money. I know it's absolutely ridiculous that there's going to be, lottery fortunes on the line for this TI, even more ridiculous than usual. I thought they'd just do it, but we've got this supporters club instead, so...
I don't think they mind it that much, because they would have had to have created a lot of new content to then roll out, to then get the additional TI price pull up. And I think all they've done is, rather than make all that new content, they're making, I think they said 2 different events.
One before TI, or one in like June-ish, and then one after TI or something.
And that's going to bring money-making opportunity with it somehow. So maybe together they're not both as big as TI, but...
People speculating that the summer event's probably Spectre Arcana related.
Yeah.
I know that there have been some strings in the updates and stuff about Spectre stuff.
In fact, I'm just not thinking big enough here. Why make a battle pass where 10-20% goes towards TI when you can just do a summer event where people can spend money on hats and it all just goes to you?
Yeah, exactly.
So, Adam, you're a gold level Evil Geniuses supporter.
Yes.
Tell me about that choice. Tough choice here, because I want to get one of these. I think, even though it's overpriced, I do want to get one, and I'm really struggling with which one to go with. So
I will say I think they're definitely overpriced for non-Western audiences. Like South America, like the dollar goes along, a lot further than those countries, so they're like pretty expensive in those other places. And I do think it's overpriced just for what you're getting. But if I can have an RTZ voice line and a Too Easy for RTZ spray, I will spend the $20. Also, I thought I got the voice lines forever, and then it turns out you only get them for 2 months. So that was also kind of a sad, but I still think it's worth it. It's like pennies a day to be able to say, stop jungling, let's push. That is a very value one to have in a game, like a real voice line. And then the other one, the RTZ saying, thanks guys, thanks a lot, is also pretty top tier. And the reason why I chose EG, other than, NA, EG fanboy, I was really split between EG and Secret, because they both have really great lines, but I liked the EG wallpaper a lot, so it's very clean. So that was the tipping point, because the Secret has 13 Mana Boy, which is like a very old meme from Puppy, and then I'm Dead, voiced by Zai, so it was just like, oh my god, a voice line voiced by Zai himself.
Yeah.
Do you know the 13 Mana Boy reference?
Yeah, I know, I know.
Okay.
From the OD, Mana Steel and Astral or whatever, however it used to be.
Way long ago, yeah.
Yeah, long
Probably
time ago.
8 versions of OD ago.
Yeah, it's a very old map.
Yeah. Well, I don't know which one I'm going to dive into. It's too many to choose from.
I was really torn. Between EG and Alliance, and I was only ever going to get level 1 or bronze, because I didn't feel like the others were worth the money. Oh, Craig's died.
I think it's okay.
Because I wasn't crazy into the voice lines that they've done. Honestly, some of my favorite, or my favorite, is the LD Liquid one, because it's so iconic and actually is a voice line, rather than these recorded pros doing something a bit awkward. It's been fun to see EG do the voice lines in the DPC games, but anyway, I was always going to get bronze. EG or Alliance, and honestly, with all this drama recently, now I was thinking about the teams and like, EG just kind of cruise through DPC, cruise through NA.
They're already
kind of stomp everyone. Already qualled
TI.
and all this. It's like, they don't need my support, like, spiritually. And even the players, I'm like, yeah, I'm a massive fan of, honestly, Crit, then RTZ, and then it's like, yeah, respect the Arbed, respect the ice, Fly fan as well, but when I was thinking about it, but the Alliance boys, scrapping OG in the alleyway, big boy Limp, like, tanking it, the Swedish lads, S4 go, I was just, like, getting too emotive, and particularly with the drama that went on, I was like, nah, I gotta give my back into Alliance, like, TI, all the way back to TI3, let's go. So,
plus you get the Loda line if you went gold. How is that balanced?
That is quite cool. I don't know if I'll fork out gold, but the badge I'm happy to have. And
yeah, it's still cool to have a little badge next to your name.
Yeah. I also have the funds in my account, so I didn't have to do any card details. I had like £2, so just put
I do know that since you shared an account with me.
Gave him like,
you had a 194 or something like that. Just
so now I got a few pennies.
I don't know, are you going to party with me anymore if I get gold OG?
Oh, no.
That's going to be tough.
Oh, no.
I said you can get any of them as long as it's not OG.
Honestly, if TI happens in person, I'm taking a top that says OG fans fight me. I'm just like, I'd love to kick off with any OG fan.
We're going to have to start on day one of, if we do a daily podcast or something. I don't know if we will do that, but if we did.
Yeah.
Day one's going to have to be like fight review. Me and Marco had to just like get it out of the system on day one. Honestly, Marco attacked me mid-game.
Get like a wall of death between EG and OG fans. Just like mosh it out.
Yeah. OG would be screwed now. Too many enemies. It used to be just EG, but now Alliance are piling in as well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fountain relocate you into the enemy fountain if you just OG.
Yeah, I'll have to turn off help definitely when we party up.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see about that. I'm undecided. There are some other ones that I like a lot as well, so we'll see. Anything else to report? Marco, you have some intro points?
Yeah, I got some intro points. So on the POS 1, two big insights. One in particular that I thought really interesting when I came across a BSJ stream talking about POS 1. He was doing a coaching session, and just as an aside point, I find these coaching sessions on stream so bizarre because whenever I've come across it, I feel like it's literally 2 or 3 times. Whoever's being coached, I just feel like it's getting absolutely slapped by BSJ, just kind of abused, and BSJ just kind of, I've never seen his face like so angry and just exasperated, and it feels so toxic where he's like, what the fuck are you doing this, man? Like, what are you doing? Like, can you explain all this? And it just feels so heavy. But anyway, I got a couple
I'm a big fan. I'm just a big fan.
He's like, I was just doing it for... And the guys he's teaching, like, this guy sounded pretty high level, but he's just getting slapped anyway. I mean, it felt kind of rough, but I actually got 2 bits of insight, so I mean, it's value at the end of the day. One of them...
Yeah, you didn't have to pay. That's what is so...
Yeah.
It's like the same with all of Bulldog's Mega Cucks. People are just like, pay $25 to get yelled at for 50 minutes. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. It is kind of strange, but anyway, I did take away a couple of points. And one of them was about the SJ saying, if you're a POS 1, you should farm as aggressively as you can all the time. So, if you can farm far in the map...
Have you been listening to the pod?
I think it has been, yeah. Talking about you need to hit the waves, because if you can, you should. Because obviously to not hit the wave, you're not going to add as much value to your team and to the map control, etc. So he's like, push that boundary. If you can farm aggressive, do it. Don't, if there's action elsewhere on the map, you should be exploiting that to farm more greedily and aggressively. And I've had people in my pubs recently, there's one support said that point to me as well, so it's very, very valid. But the second point, which I think was really, really, really interesting, and BSJ said he learnt this from Koifa, not himself, not original, Koifa taught it him, farm backwards on the minute. And so by this point he's saying, if it's, let's say, 5 minutes or 10 minutes at the 0 mark, so 10:00, and if you start farming those jungle creeps, you're doing that over going to the lane creeps. And so if you think about the order of doing it, if you farm the jungle at 10:00, then go to the lane creeps, well, the lane creeps have gone further down, so that's more time where the lanes weren't as pushed as they could have been. And then once you've even pushed them, now at like 10:30, you're coming backwards into an empty jungle. Instead, what you should try and think to do is be as aggressive and push out as far as you can until, say, that 50-second mark, 60-second mark, and then you're deep and aggressive on the enemy side of the map. But then when the clock ticks and you get all those camps respawn, you can just farm backwards. And as you take them backwards, you've not kind of forgone pushing the creeps early because that's what you did first. And then as you farm backwards, you kill all these camps that then if the enemy comes into the jungle in that minute, they've all been taken because you've taken them on your way back out. And I don't know if that makes sense, but I hope it does, that ordering of priority. So first point, as always, farm aggressive, shove the creeps when you can. But in terms of the most efficient way to farm through a woods, you want to be farming backwards on the minute once things have just spawned. I mean, if you want to be next level, you'd do a stack at 55 and then farm your way back, say.
So would you extend that to just sort of be like, in the first half of the minute, don't farm jungle, then go to lane, because you're going to be in a situation where you're coming back to an empty jungle and
exactly, yeah. And you'll come back to an empty jungle, but you'll also have delayed that lane farm by 20 seconds because you'll have been in the woods 20 seconds. Then you go to the lane, and the lane is therefore been pushed further back in that time, or it hasn't been pushed as far forward as it could have been in that time. And you've not actually gained any more creeps because, like you say, you'd be coming back to an empty woods. So you'd rather a situation where you clear the woods, but you've pushed the creep wave as far forward as you can. And that happens typically when you're farming backwards. Obviously, when you get later in the game and you get strong enough, you can walk through the woods and farm it and then connect to the creep lane, push it, and then farm back. But particularly in this kind of early game, early 10, 12, 14 minutes, if you spend time killing a creep camp, you're not doing it in 3 seconds like you would in the late game. It might take you 15 seconds, and then you go to the next camp another 15 seconds, and in that 30-second window, your creep wave has not been pushed as far forward as it could have been, and you've not gained any more creep because those jungle camps will still be there on your way back. So farming back on the minute, I thought it was really interesting. I've been thinking about it when I've been in my bot games and in my ranked games, and I think it makes sense. It's just kind of a natural synergy to farm as aggressively and far forward as you can, and then it's just the most efficient way to farm back through the jungle, and it denies the enemy team if they then come into that area of the map. So,
nice point.
I thought it was really interesting. Yeah. So they were my insight points, and then can I talk to you about these next bullet points of semi-mold?
Yeah, of course. We're sort of into games. I mean, I don't have anything to say for my games. I was just going to make the point about LC Shard.
So, one game to report. I put it on the Discord. Obviously, we've got many people who listen but don't look at the Discord, and I had to share it on the Discord because I had to get it out of my system. I also wanted to share it in a way. I wanted to share it in a way that was ambiguous as to the outcome of the game and ambiguous as to which side I was on. So the context, I share a KDA screen or net worth screen. There's a void, faceless void, genuinely about 10-0-12, and a morph, both on the same team. The morph's also 10-0-12. This is 20 minutes into the game. Both top 2 net worths. Third net worth is an enemy PL. Oh, I keep ruining it by saying enemy PL. There's a PL on the other team. PL on the other team.
I was still engrossed in the story here.
So on the DotA, there's a PL whose third highest net worth score about 235, 20 minutes in the game. So I post these net worths and go, who do you think wins this game? Check out these KDAs, crazy. And I wanted to make it ambiguous as, A, am I the Malden faceless void who loses this ridiculous lead, or B, am I this god PL player who somehow wins a game when the enemy has 2 cores joint like 20-0-20 KDA? The spoiler is that I'm the faceless void with the morph on my team, and we lose to this PL. Yeah. Who's, I honestly just, it blows my mind that we could have that KDA, have these 2 highest net worths, like bonkers KDA, not just a good KDA, like bonkers KDA. Think how many kills, how many deaths the enemy has leaked to give me and Morph a score of literally like 10-0-12, no deaths, so many kills in 20 minutes, but we still lose. That's the heart-wrenching fact of the matter. But so the first nail in the coffin in these KDAs, so as I said in previous podcasts, it's too hard to win games which you're too far ahead in, too early. I don't want to be too far ahead because people just take the foot off the gas and the enemy team punishes you and games feel so easy to lose. Right. just so easy to lose, just one mistake and it's finished. Even though the enemy team's made 20 mistakes and got like 20, 30 deaths, all we need to do is make one mistake and we've lost it. That's what it feels like. But a second nail in the coffin, there was a moment in the game, I'm like, yeah, we need to get this rush. Can we just get this rush? I'll push top in. We meet at the rush pit. So our Mars pos 3 does the biggest throw. He just literally ignores that call, goes with his pos 5 Wyvern to kind of solo gank the PL. And obviously they both die. I then like play like an idiot and die, and someone else dies. It's just catastrophic. But prior to this, our Morph again, mid-Morph, 12-0-12, dominating. He gets 4-man ganked bottom, and the way I know this game's just not winnable, 4-man ganked bottom, not only does he live, he gets a kill and gets out. And when that happened, I was just like, this is over. If they're doing a 4-man gank on our Morph at 20 minutes, they don't kill him, and he gets a kill and lives, and he's now 13-0-12, the game's over. We can't win. Because I know we think we're playing against Heralds and we're just going to we now just switch off. People switch off and the enemy switches on even harder. I wish he died and it'd bring us back to reality and we go, actually guys, let's not throw, let's think, let's concentrate. But when you're just flying, I swear to God, my ranked games, 80 to 90% of them, I get to a point where my win probability is 95%. I swear to God. I then only win about 50% of those games. I swear to God. And so it feels good. It feels good because I swear, these games are easy. 95% probability to guarantee that I'll get our team to this position. However, it's then a 50-50, whether that's a win or a loss.
This sounds like the opposite of me when I play mid in ranked, where it's just the game starts when you're down 5k after like laning stage. That's like the guarantee is that both your side lanes get ruffle stomped, and then it's like, all right, let's play Dota. I don't know. What do you reckon, Adam? This is Marco's in some strange quagmire of losing unlosable games.
He didn't buy a BKB, right?
Yeah, so that was one mistake that I should not have done. Burned. I got mana burned. And again, we're all just too high we're too high. We're also just like, this game's easy, so easy.
You get that 20k lead, you think, I can put off the BKB one more item, and then it's like, oh no. I think it's obnoxious that you guys are a combined 24-0 and 20 or something like that on your 1 and 2, and then you lose, but it can happen.
It can happen, and it's sad, it's our fault, obviously, but it just feels
good to be a hero like PL. Like, that hero is obnoxious. Like, it's one of the most annoying ones to lose against, for sure.
PL is a joke, yeah.
They don't even, they just don't do anything. None of their team deserve a win. None of them deserve a win. It's insane.
No one ever deserves a win in Dota, I feel like. That's just a guarantee. There's never a deserved win game.
Yeah. So the last point was then this win probability point, because that win probability is all just mined from statistics, but it will take it from every game in Dota. Like, if you go on the win prob graph in a DPC game, it's the same win prob graph in any game you would click into. It's just hard data. But I honestly think that they need to adjust the win probability for the MMR of the people, because so I was thinking about it. In kind of like an average median game, a cruel way to put it is like, for enemy A or team A to get to a 95% probability, they've played crap Dota all that way. They've played pretty bad Dota all that way. Like, the quality's just low. So in a way, they've just played like a throwy playstyle all the way up to 95% probability. So they can't really do any worse than they already are. Maybe like the way you throw a median gain is like getting a Divine Rapier and throwing it or something. But I feel like you can't really throw these games where everyone's playing poorly anyway. So you get to 95% prob and you win. But if you take that up to a higher level and you give the same context, so the same stats and heroes, gold, XP, etc., but now everyone's that much more clinical, mechanical, better decision makers, etc. Even though the graph says we're 95% probability, as my games show, they're so much easier to lose than that and so much harder to win than that. Genuinely, because I've been in it like 5 times recently, where all it takes is one mistake. So you think a 95% probability, you wouldn't just lose after one mistake, but at the highest level, or at a high level relatively, that is the case. Whereas if you go to all the median masses of lower games where the stats are pulled from, one mistake, if a 2K game makes one mistake, they're not going to lose. Like, they're not that clinical, so the stats are truer. And so I feel like they need to be adjusted for the different levels.
Yeah.
That's my hypothesis.
It's an interesting thought, because I've always thought, with absolutely no statistics to back this up whatsoever, games go to script more the lower in MMR you go, because players don't adjust their play style depending on context or depending on hero picks. So I've always felt that, contrary to popular belief, picks actually matter quite a lot in lower MMRs to an extent. Obviously, it's still true to say you can pick anything and win in lower MMRs, because you can. But just for like an average, to your average, I don't know, Archon player, or me, average Ancient player or something, people don't adjust what they're trying to do in a game because they're 10k down, as opposed to even on gold, or because they're against these heroes as opposed to against these other sets of heroes in which you need to play differently. So maybe it goes to that point a little bit, that it goes to script more easily in more average MMRs. I don't know.
I think a really interesting graphical analysis to do would be, so with the XP gold graphs, the kind of perfect game of Dota, whoever wins it, you would think it's just a straight line. Like, if you're winning from minute 0, 5, 10, 20 onwards, it would just be a straight line advantage, right? Like, I wonder at what kind of bracket you get most commonly wins where it is a kind of a straight line consistent win, or say flat line then a straight line up, i.e. not a messy up and down graph where there's lots of back and forth or throws. Does that make sense? And if you got those millions of graphs, you could kind of plot them all and see what the most common net worth graph over the course of a game typically is for the different regions.
It's definitely interesting, and it's not necessarily that comebacks are less likely in lower MMRs. It's that predictable comebacks are more likely. Like, for example, I've played games where you're against an enemy lineup that has that does scale better than you. And you're thinking, I know we're 10k up right now, but I know for a fact that they're just going to come back. Like, I can see it coming from a mile away, that the enemies are going to come back into the game. And then it happens, and you're like, well, that's because no one adjusted and everyone just thought, oh, we're 10k up, it's always going to be like that. And so that was a comeback, but it was a very predictable one. So this is all just sort of theory. I don't have any stats to back this up. It's just my sort of thought that adjustments don't really happen. Just to talk about my games, I don't really have much to report. We mentioned last episode that some offlaners to try. Played a couple of games of Doom. Played one game of Darkseer. I think played a couple of games of LC as well. I liked the LC. The LC game I had was good. Finished with like 200 dual damage. Like mega toxic OD, mid OD on my team that like wanted me to get involved in duel and stuff. And then there was one time where I could have blink dueled a hero, like as OD was TPing in, and we probably would have killed him. So that was like my mistake. And then OD like astraled me when I was I just went to nuke some creeps and run away. Then he like astraled me in a vulnerable position when he knew that Pudge was near. So like the Pudge just gets a hook out of astral. So just a pure grief, and then I die.
You're gonna turn off help.
I know what I did. I subsequently turned off help, but that OD was... And I was like very annoyed by that. I was already annoyed because the OD was just abusing me over voice. So I'd muted him. But I just rage bought back because I was like, you've literally just deliberately killed me. So I just bought back, and then OD just all chats end mid AFK, and I'm like, even though we're ahead. And anyway, we end up winning in 35 minutes, and I had 200 dual damage, and then Doom, not much to report. Lost both my games. And then Darkseer I played today with Adam, which we lost in kind of frustrating fashion, but I really liked Darkseer. I think I might play him a bit more. I'm not so sure about the Doom. I might drop the Doom for now. Because he's not that fun. Like, in a weird way, he's less fun than Darkseer. I find Darkseer more fun. Wall and Vacuum, Iron Shell, especially with the Ags, and Surge are just fun spells, whereas Devour's not that fun. Ethereal Blade, or whatever it's called, is not fun. Doom is kind of fun, but it's not as fun as a Vacuum. Honestly, Vacuum is more fun than Doom, the spell. Anyway, I don't really have anything to report.
My final thing to report, about 3 times in the last couple of weeks, I've been against a Huskar Oracle in ranked. How does this keep happening to me? I've got a small bloody sample size of games, and I always go up against Huskar Oracle. It's not fun, I'll tell you that. I lost them all. That's my last line.
Huskar. I hate Huskar.
Honestly, yeah, Huskar's it's so sad to play against. What? Yeah, I was actually going to raise that point. What's the best Huskar counters? Do anyone know? Because I don't know these cheese counters. So these pick Huskar, and our team just feels useless every time. And then it's an Oracle, somehow as well, even though it's solo ranked.
I think AA and Necro are the classics, aren't they?
Necro?
Yeah, you just ult him.
You can Lena Ags.
Lena, Necro, AA.
Yeah, AA, Spirit Vessel.
Yeah. AA seems such a high value pick these days for the ult.
Viper's actually good against him now that Berserker's Blood, the regen is passive, so you can break that.
Interesting. And the attack speed?
Yep, and the attack speed, yeah, so Viper's actually low-key good.
Okay, this is useful to know, because I feel stumped whenever as a Huskar.
Yeah. We're already quite into this app. Should I just bust out a quick stat corner and then go on to the heroes?
Yeah, I don't have any games to report.
Okay.
I tried offlane Lich, that was one thing. That actually has potential. But we'll leave it at that. I need to develop it further.
Yeah, I'm having trouble playing POS 5 in ranks. We'll leave that as well. The only stat that matters in Dota 2, damage. In this case, some items, some spells as well, out of interest too. We all know the item that provides the highest damage in Dota, Divine Rapier. Do you know what that damage is?
It's 350.
It is indeed 350.
No True Strike.
No True Strike, yeah. It changed the item when it gave True Strike. People were actually doing it as legit core parts of builds. You see it on Medusa as like a final item. Always. MKB rip.
Yeah, I think they gave it 50 extra damage because they took away True Strike, but it does not make up for.
I was going to say 300.
It's always, it was 300.
That makes me feel better then.
Do you know what
it was 300 when it gave True Strike, but it also at one time gave 322, I think. As a meme, didn't it?
Wow.
Or am I just making that up?
That's the Techies talent, isn't it?
No, that was Techies. 420, the Techies, wasn't it?
For right click.
No, it was...
Or was it 322?
It was like 251 now, or something.
That's what it is now, yeah. I think it used to be higher.
Yeah,
anyway.
But then they nerfed everything by 20%.
Yeah, they did. Can you tell me what the second highest damage item is and the damage that it provides?
We're not counting neutrals, right?
We are counting neutrals.
Okay, that's so boring. I hate neutrals.
It's not neutral.
Is it not neutral?
No, the highest damage neutral is the fourth.
Bersia.
The fourth and
or
fifth.
Stygian.
Well...
Stygian Desolator.
Interestingly... So obviously attributes are an interesting one because I'm only counting it for every hero. So it's like the lowest, I'm counting like the lowest possible damage it can give. And even so, the fourth highest damage item is Apex.
Oh, I thought
it provides
we just
75 damage.
Attack damage, not attribute stuff.
Yeah, if we're ignoring just attributes, I was going to say Daedalus.
Yeah, that is right. Daedalus is the second highest damage item.
Is there not a neutral item? Because isn't Daedalus like, 80 or 88? Isn't there a neutral that gives...
or something?
88 for Daedalus.
88.
What, Stygian Desolator 2 give then?
60.
Okay, but it's also the minus armor.
Yeah, so Stygian Deso goes 60.
Is that it?
Yeah, which is the same as another item, a non-neutral item, just a normal item.
60.
It also gives 60.
That sounds like MKB.
Satanic? I think MKB is like 45 these days.
MKB's 40 these days.
40.
It's quite low. There's Yeah, MKB 40 damage. It's not much
it's got attack speed built in now instead of.
It
doesn't
and
have
the only thing that gives True Strike, or doesn't quite give True Strike, but the pierce stuff.
So, are you asking about the 60 still?
Well, I'll give you the 60. That's Radiance that gives 60.
Yeah.
There's an item we've forgotten about here that gives 80 damage, which is 20 more than Radiance, and just 8 less than Daedalus. So it's only a little bit less than Daedalus. The second highest damage item if we're not including Rapier.
8?
Just behind Daedalus.
Not Radiance.
It's not a
So I think
nullifier,
Satanic's
is it?
55. Oh,
yeah, it's
nullifier,
Nully,
great
yeah.
shout.
Nully, 80
Nully's
damage
got
on Nullifier.
80 because you have to build the relic. That's crazy. Because
Yeah,
the
it's
other
kind of
component, it's just the helm or whatever.
Yeah.
So they're really giving you a bonus to damage.
It's quite surprising how much damage that is, and I'll come back to another item that I was surprised with the damage, but there's 3 items that give 55 damage. I don't know if you can name any of them. They're all normal items, no neutrals here.
One Satanic.
Yeah, one is Satanic, yeah.
The Basher upgrade, Abyssal Blade.
Abyssal's lowly damage, I'm afraid.
Yeah,
Abyssal's just 25.
Because Skull Bash is, just 25, I think.
Yeah.
Is it like Relic? Are we after a Relic for 55?
No, we've done all the relic items.
No, we're not. I've not done
like a
basic
standalone.
items.
Oh,
I've
you're
not done any
basics.
basics. These are all like full items.
Upgraded items.
So I'll give you one. One is Deso. So Deso's 55 damage.
Guys, got that.
bad.
Yeah, and then the other one's
What about
Battle.
Gleipnir? Okay.
I don't know about Gleipnir. I didn't look at Gleipnir, but I presume it's the same as Maelstrom, because I don't think the crowns,
know.
the
thought
Atos
with
doesn't give you any damage.
I don't know if there was a bonus.
I haven't checked that one though. But Battle Fury is 55 as well, so it's Satanic Deso and Battle Fury. Beyond that, we've got Penta-Edged Sword at 45, another neutral, which we hate. Give that the boo. And then after that, we have the lowly Monkey King Bar.
Wait a sec, you're hating on Penta-Edge?
No, well, I'm hating on the fact it's a neutral item.
Okay, I hate on that bit. The reason I like it is because it's one of 3, or one of 2 if we exclude all the Venom crap, that actually movement speed's slow.
Like
on
the
attack.
name.
Maim, old school Maim, which I really miss, honestly.
The old Sange.
One component of Scardy that I love the most is the movement speed. It's so value on a core to be able to keep up with someone.
I feel like that item is not used enough on ranged. Is the Maim only melee? Like only melees can proc Maim?
I don't
Or is
think
it they're just not getting the bonus attack range from the? I mean,
yeah, that's all they miss. Yeah, the bonus, they don't get the 100
so like
attack range.
ranged Maim sounds amazing,
It does.
and it's like a lot of damage. It's a nice
45
damage.
yeah. I like damage, yeah.
Yeah, so to give you a quiz on the next item after Crystallis, which comes in at 32 after MKB at 40, I was surprised how much damage this item did. It does more than Bash and Abyssal, which does 25. Also does more than Maelstrom and Mjolnir on 24. There's 2 items here. One does, well, I won't give you the figures, but there's 2/3 items in between this 32 and 25 that I was quite surprised to see.
I think I know the 32.
32 is Crystallis.
What the hell? Why would you... That's what I was going to say.
I've already said Crystallis.
Oh, had you?
I said in between Crystallis and 25 on
I just said
Battle
in between this and 25.
Oh, no, I was saying Crystallis, not this.
No, you're saying not like basic items like broadsword,
No basic items here.
like blade mail.
Yeah, so Blade Mail, 28 damage.
28, yeah.
Yeah, it's impressive. And then there's a pair of items at 30.
Shadowblade, one of them?
No, I don't know what Shadowblade damage is, actually. That's not one I'd considered for the list. Let me do some last minute research.
I don't even know if you build a damage item into that anymore.
Oh, I've actually lost track, you're right.
I think that's an attack speed item now.
It's
So
not a Claymore in it.
25 damage on Shadowblade. 25.
God, there's not a Claymore. Fucking hell.
What goes into it?
A broadsword, blitz knuckles, and shadow amulet.
Whoops.
Broadsword.
Blitz
Shadow
knuckle
amulet?
and then shadow amulet.
Yeah, there's a blitz knuckle.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
It used to be shadow amulet Claymore, which was nice and easy, and
it's like a I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's like it gives you damage and attack speed as opposed to just most of one or the other.
Yeah. So the items that come in at 30 damage, I was actually surprised. Orchid Malevolence gives you quite a lot of damage. 30 damage. I don't think of it for that. I just think of it for
those
the active, basically.
Oblivion staves are pretty good.
yeah,
In as well.
yeah, 20 in. So that it's insane
Wow.
on right clicking in. 55.
That's why it's so ridiculous. You
50
get these
damage.
quaps at like 11 minutes that are getting these like a 50 damage item plus silence. It's like
Plus
and
25
speed.
attack speed. Yeah, it's actually monstrously DPS for only 3.5k.
Plus the active damage as well. 30% of its damage received is inflicted as bonus magic.
Yeah.
So it's even
like,
more.
And it's like the best item build up in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's
It makes me want to play a Quap and build an Orchid.
Yeah, for sure. Let's move on then from items to some
Wait,
spells.
was Butterfly not in that? Was that not in that
20,
range either? Butterfly?
25?
25 for Butter, yeah. So just some
You
other
get a
ones
lot
if
of
you want
else,
to
yeah.
throw out, but so 30 on Gleipnir actually, so you do get a little bit more than you do from the Maelstrom.
Yeah, but those are like tier 6 items, and you're like, you better just be giving me 30 damage on an item that costs that much.
Yeah,
As a throwaway.
yeah, for sure, yeah. Armlet 15 damage, Mask of Madness 10 damage, just some throwaway lines here. Falcon Blade 10 damage. So have at it. Some spells then, and let's start with some basic spells. I wonder if you can tell me highest damage level 1 spell was. Point target, as far as I'm aware.
Oh man,
High spell damage.
it's like changed. I was high. Like, is it not Shadow Shaman Q?
I don't think that it is.
Aether Shock?
Aether Shock might be the highest damage instant damage. This
is it the Disruptor Q?
Disruptor Q, yeah.
Yeah,
Thunderstrike, 180 damage at level 1. Bit of a classic, yeah. There is a spell that at level 1, I think you can sometimes quite reliably get all of the damage off, but it's uncontrollable damage in an AoE around you. And I'm not talking about some like Lesh Diabolic Edict. I don't know what the total damage of that would be. But
Yeah, that would be a lot.
Gyrocopter's Rocket Barrage does 210 damage at level 1, scaling up to 660 at level 4. That's quite a lot. If you can get that all on someone at level 1, that's a ton of damage, 210. On a lot of these other level 1 spells, you're looking at around 80 to 90 damage. For example, Dragon Slave 85, I think Crypt Swarm is 75, Heat-Seeking Missiles 125, I think Lasers 90, Dart Pact on Slark 75, Fade Bolt on Rubik's 100. Here's an interesting statistic. Shadow Rays, or just, well, I think that's what it's called, yeah, Shadow Rays on SF, and Breathe Fire on DK have exactly the same damage at all levels.
75 increments.
Yeah, I think 75 increments, yeah. So, no, that's, no, sorry.
Shadow Fiend gets 3 of them.
Not 75 increments, sorry, because maybe increments from 90 to 300. I don't know how to do the maths. Does that work out?
Oh, 90 increments.
90 increments, right.
No, it'd be 70.
9, 18, 27, 36.
It increases 210 in 3
Yeah, so
increments.
it goes up 3 times, so it's 70 each time.
Oh, it goes from
60
90 to
230.
300.
Yeah, Adam's right. That's PhD for you right there.
That's PhD.
Yeah, that's Doctor come dine with you. Come dine with
Yeah,
you.
but also
It's his rival.
come down with you. But also, Shadow Fiend gets the bonus for stacks or whatever.
Yeah, that's
Which
true.
I don't know. I don't even know what that bonus is, but it's.
I don't know what it is, but I know I've died to it every time I've laned against it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of mana to cast Thunderstrike, Disruptor's Q. It's crazy good damage. goes up at every level by 100. So at level 5, you could have a 380 nuke, target point, 800 cast range is immense, can't get rid of it. 150 mana at level 3.
Yeah, but then you have no glimpse.
No glimpse. I honestly don't mind level 3 Thunderstrike if you get it in the lane and it's if it's an active fighty lane. But yeah, typically if you're just gonna hit the middle ground, we get 2 levels of it and then you need the glimpse. But I've been in lanes where Thunderstrike has been level 3 and it's really helped control the enemy aggression because he just keeps them low HP and lets you therefore farm without being pressured. I need to play more Disruptor, honestly. You can do so many players.
Let's talk about some ultimates then, just to wrap up this stat corner. Laguna Blade and Finger of Death. Do you want to tell me which one you think has higher damage out of those two?
Is it consistent? Does one always have more damage, or
no? That's the interesting thing.
Wait, what were you saying? Sorry.
Oh, I was saying what do you think does more damage, Laguna Blade or Finger of Death?
Level 1. Oh, goodness.
See, that's the interesting thing, is that one of them has superior damage at level 1 and the other spell outscales it and has superior at 3.
Finger does more late.
Oh, I would say the opposite, because Finger's got the talent where it gets more damage.
Markers
are we talking about Ags?
No, not Ags,
just
the
basic spell. But there's a talent for Lion where you get more finger damage.
And also you just get infinite scaling too. So you'd expect it to be higher damage later, but because of the stacks, right?
The stacks would make it higher.
How much does Laguna do?
So Laguna is 500 damage at level 1 and 900 at level 3, compared to Finger of Death, which is 600 at level 1, 100 more, and 850 at 3, so 50 less.
But
600 level.
The Ags, I'm not talking about stacks or talents. The Ags, between the both of them, Lion does more.
Because it's AoE, you mean?
No, because Lena's makes it pure, but Lion's buffs the damage. I guess pure. Yeah, it's over 1,000, I think. Like 1,025 or something.
Oh yeah, both sit 175.
But Lena's is pure, so it probably still does more true damage.
Because you're going... Yeah, I think it would.
Here's some interesting ones for you that I'll throw out as well. Assassinate on Sniper, that's 650 at level 3, 320 at level 1, so only 50 damage more than a level 1 Finger of Death on a level 3 Assassinate, which is quite considerable. Quop Sonic Wave, that's 560 damage maxed out, so less than level 1 Finger, but obviously a huge AoE.
Pure as well?
Pure as well, yeah. Now, there are a couple of spells. One, I think, is reasonably likely to land. Another, less so likely to land. That do...
Hoodwink.
Yeah, you're already there, Hoodwink. So, Sharpshooter on Hoodwink. Level 1, it does 550, which is only 50 damage more than a level 1 Laguna. But once you get up to level 3, you're doing some serious damage. I don't know if you have a guess at the Sharpshooter damage at level 3.
Is it 1.2 and it's also pure?
I was going to say like 1250.
1250, yeah, it's 1250. Is it pure?
At 25 talent.
Oh, is it?
Okay, so it's not usually pure. Okay.
Does it not spit? And it doesn't... I feel like that spell's always piercing my magic immunity.
Yeah, at level 25.
It's level 25, though. Partially pierces spell immunity. Is it because you are broken but don't take damage? I don't know.
I don't know what's going on. And then there's a final spell that does a boatload of damage. So there's a spell that does 750 damage at level 1. So only 100 damage less than the level 3 Finger of Death. This is the damage that it's doing at level 1.
Wait, let's think about it. Single target or
ground target?
Ground target. The spell does Mystic Flare.
Mystic Flare. 1,600 damage at level 3. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good. And doesn't
That's a lot of damage.
Skywrath have a spell that like reduces magic resistance as well, or something like that?
The 20 talent is the E reduces magic immunity or magic resistance, but also there's a talent that makes it even more.
Yeah, that's remarkable. Wow, 45% magic damage increase on Ancient Seal. That's crazy. I never think about that. I just think it's like a silence, and I just forget about it. Yeah, that's kind of remarkable, actually. Wow.
And then you get the Ags, and you just double cast everything.
Yeah, that really is crazy. But yeah, that's Stat Corner for damage. Got there in the end. It took me transferring from my computer to my phone after I lost internet, but we got there in the end. Yeah, again next week, more stats. There's endless stats. Endless stats. So I think maybe in 100 episodes time I'll be like, so this week in Stat Corner we're at who has the most int game in Dota 2? And we'll probably get to that probably within 50 episodes. By episode 100 it'll be like, how many different cosmetic slots does each hero have on their like belt or whatever. Marco, you've got some thoughts about a hero that you've been playing against bots and humans. The most evil hero in Dota 2, Luna.
Yeah. So a hero I've been playing quite a lot, and I don't know what instigated me into trying it. Because I did play it in a couple unranked with you guys. I can't remember what it was that made me try it out. Maybe I watched someone on stream or a DPC game, then I was like, I'll try it then in a pub. And we played a few unranked together, and it was like, I think I lost the first one when I didn't really know what I was doing, or item builds, or playstyle. Then the next three were just these ruthless, just horrendously sweaty pub wins. So I was like, alright, feels good, I'll take it to ranked. And I have taken it to ranked, and it's been not overwhelmingly successful, but the games I've lost have been very hard, kind of I'm not really taking the majority of responsibility. If anything, I felt like I played well. It's just kind of games that you're really not going to win. Like one of them, we've got kind of a griefy mid Lena that gives up, even though we're winning the game. Classic story. Genuinely, we're winning, and then Lena goes, "I've had enough," and then just griefs us and goes AFK and feeds. Another game, we have a last pick Lycan mid against a Puck and against a PL, which has already been picked. And I go on the Lycan's profile, he's got like 10 losses with Lycan on his page, so hard games to win. However, Luna feels good. The laning feels very good. If you look at her stats, lots of armor. You've got about 640 or 660 HP. With a couple branches, you get a circlet, you're on 700 HP. A lot. The right click, you get level 1 passive. Level 2 passive, it's like +5 then +15, I think. You're able to CS pretty fine. Then your ranged hero, then you've got your Lucent Beam damage. It feels like a really nice lane, honestly. Even with a Warlock, say, the enemy goes on you and you survive and live, sustain and turn it around. Or if you've got a more aggressive lane partner, like I've had Disruptors before, and we just storm heroes down with so much damage, and you can CS, and it feels really, really good. The one question I'd pose is, I don't know about item build in the early game. To me, this is one of my biggest question marks. And when do you buy Mask of Madness? When do you not? When do you buy Power Treads, then Mask of Madness? Or do you buy Mask of Madness, then Power Treads? Do you get Wraith Bands? I think I've figured out the Wraith Band one. So I don't know if you know about this, Adam or Stan, that these days, because you have to keep up with what these items give you, Wraith Bands give you so you get the expected attributes of a circlet and a slipper, and then when you complete it, so that 210 recipe, I believe what that 210 recipe gives you is 5 attack speed, I think a couple more agi, and then it gives you 1.5 additional armor. So that's basically what finishing a Wraith Band gives you. And I think you buy this item, one or two of them, when you're in these lanes where you're getting a lot of right clicks, because you basically want to buy that armor in a somewhat gold efficient way, because you get the armor, but you get a tad bit more stats as well. If you're therefore not being right clicked, I think then people are like, when I say people, I mean pros who've optimized the game. I think they just skip it and go straight into a Power Shreds or Mask of Madness. But then I've been confused because I've seen RTZ not even get Mask of Madness and just get a Dragonlance. So I feel very unsure about Mask of Madness. I don't know if you've had experience playing. I guess you can take it to other carries like Faceless Void maybe. I know Mask of Madness is a nicer synergy for the Chrono. Trying to think if anyone else builds Mask of Madness.
Sven, I guess. Sven can.
Sven, yeah. So I just don't know the answer to, is Mask of Madness the most efficient farming item you can get, or is it not? Because does
like
Sven get it every
Luna,
game? Or?
you get more glaives. I feel like you need lifesteal if you're taking stacks. Because she doesn't have a lot. I guess if you're good,
you kite
he
the
probably kites the stacks. He probably hits them and pulls them out, and then glaives them as they're running back. And probably like Lucent beams another camp and brings them all together, type of a thing.
You also have a lot of armor, and so the neutral camps often don't do that much damage to you. However, yeah, and in pro games, common strategy is they'll just get a pod 3 to tank ancient stacks whilst you kill them. But in a pub, can you really rely on that?
No.
So
I'm a big fan of Mask of Madness personally.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. I think I don't know what is better farm-wise, Treads or Mask of Madness. Is Mask of Madness in a vacuum the greedier pickup? So in the perfect lane where the off lane's just not even there? Or, are you just going Brown Boots Mask of Madness, or is that a bit much?
I do see games where that happens. I'm honestly torn because I think Power Treads are underappreciated how valued they are. So you get 25 attack speed and then 10 agi. So that's another 10 attack speed.
And 10 damage.
And 10 damage. So 35 attack speed, 10 damage versus, the active of Mask of Madness, I think, to be honest, you can't deny that is going to make you farm a camp faster. So that would, give you the better farm speed, but obviously then you're more squishy if you ever used it. And because it's that spurt of power, it's like you use it and then you farm faster, but then outside of that you wouldn't, versus having that power tread. So then going to the laning, if you're skirmishing a little bit with right clicks, like I think I see people get power treads first when they want to be in the lane a bit more, I guess. But if it's just a complete free lane where you can go to the woods more, then the Mask of Madness, I guess, would be more efficient. I guess you're always going to be safe getting power to the Mask of Madness, and I think that's what I've been doing most. I think it is safe. But it is interesting when someone then, I watch an ILTW, gets 2 Wraith Bands, doesn't get Mask of Madness. Or you watch RTZ, gets Dragonlance, no Mask of Madness. It is only minor, it's not like game-changing detail.
Well, it is a lot better or easier to kite with a Dragonlance than without a Dragonlance. And also, that gives you good, I won't say comparable stats to Treads, but it gives good stats. Dragonlance does definitely give good stats now.
It's surprisingly high agi.
Yeah.
16. And it is an expensive item, 1.9k, but 16 agi.
And what, 12 strength or something?
12 strength, yeah. It is. It's like how the Meepos used to buy 5 Dragonlances or something.
They do it again now. Meepo goes double Dragonlance. That's like the standard again. Yeah, it's because they buff the agi again. So it's worth it now again.
Dragonlance is like way more value. So I say this, but it's still very value on Drow. But like Luna gets so much more out of a Dragonlance, or a TA does, than like a Drow or a Lena, someone that already has long range. I mean, like Luna's got no range for a range hero, so it's like a 33% increase or something in her range.
So it does feel nice to get that Dragonlance. I think I've been punished in a game before when I first played it. This, I think, my first unranked with it, by getting Mask of Madness and Dragonlance, and I think that slows your first core item down too much.
Right.
I've also just seen people go early Yasha.
Yasha's a fantastic value item because when you go into the mid game, some people get Sanjin Yasha, and some games maybe that's better. But I think Manta for a pub setting is going to be way better.
Right.
Largely
Yeah, it's big farm item.
big farm item, but I love sending the illusions to a side lane. I had a really interesting observation just in a bot match before, and honestly, the bot match practice farming is, you learn stuff if you're thinking about it. So I was Radiant farming the enemies, what they called Ancients, Dire Ancients, and then there's a creep wave to my right, the Dire off lane, and I start walking to it with my hero, and then go, wait a sec, why am I walking with my hero here, where my team, all the bots are in the mid lane? This is where Manta's so great. I want to push in the lane to the right of me. You send your Manta illusions there, and then your main hero might go to the left, and I connect to the mid lane, and I can join a fight. And I feel like I did that, and I've done that a lot in ranked games, where it's just that pushing tool is so powerful. I think, in this pro setting maybe, or you don't need to be such a split pusher with your illusions, because the rest of the team's going to be so much on it. Get the Santin Jasher instead. But I think in a pub setting, if you can push lanes in with illusions from that Manta, it's going to be so much value, and then you let your hero move in an opposite direction and connect to the team, or just go farm elsewhere, obviously. I really, really like the Manta pickup.
Yeah, it's like Manta, Drow, and Luna illusions are so strong for, like, they do so much damage. Luna because of glaives, and Drow just because Agi. But it's like, definitely, because the cooldown on ranged Manta is like longer, so sometimes it's not like the best farming type of item, right? Because you don't get to spam them as much as you would as a PL or someone else. But with those two ranged heroes, it's value item to push.
So what do you think? You think the cooldown of Manta's longer? I'm not I'm looking on Dota Wiki, and it's the only thing that's different is the damage dealt by illusions is weaker for ranged, which I think has always been the case, that ranged illusions did less damage. But I think the cooldown of Manta is still constant, unless this is out of date info.
I need to look at the change logs.
Oh yeah, 7.29. They changed it from 30.45 to 30 for both.
So it's been buffed.
Damn, that's very interesting.
So that's very. I feel good. I feel good now because that's just
shout.
This last patch. I think that's very recent. So, it's actually it's an insane buff on ranged heroes.
15 seconds reduced.
Yes, it's a third more uptime. So like actual value, Manta on ranged heroes is crazy.
We're in.
Yeah, it's like you could get it on Drow because you get the cooldown reduction talent at 25, and it's like, all that makes it, that used to make it basically what it is now already, and then with the 30% cooldown, it makes it even lower, like to 20 seconds. So, yeah, we've done it, boys. We discovered, that's a huge change. Why didn't...
Only 10 seconds of downtime, that's really not much at all.
Yeah, it's nothing.
I've got a question about Luna. Something I've always thought, perhaps incorrectly, is that Luna's got this sort of nailed-on 6 slots of treads, or I guess travels, but basically treads, Manta, Butter, Satanic, Skadi, and BKB. Is there any world where that's not the build? Or is there
sometimes you have to go MKB, I reckon. Right?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a game where you have to do that.
Yeah, Wind Ranger, I've saw recently.
Right.
Gets countered by that, but yeah.
I don't know.
Definitely.
There's like the split damage build where people get the Ags. I don't know where you fit that in. And I think you ideally, if you're the one Luna, you get the Ags blessing. Like you you don't bank on Roche having it. Like you buy it yourself and never slot it because you'd rather have other items.
I think because if you were going to get an MKB in there, what do you swap out? And I guess
did we say Satanic is one of the items?
Yeah.
Yeah, Satanic is, I think Skadi is the flex item.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Yeah.
Like Butter's 2 value on a hero that also builds Manta.
Yeah. But Butter BKB are too good. to overlook, and then
Satanic's honestly like kind of too good as well. I feel like Satanic's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then
I think Scotty's your flex item.
Yeah.
But she's also fast enough that where you can backpack boots.
If you get a neutral item as well, that's very helpful.
Yeah, spider legs.
But yeah, BKB typically gonna be good.
And
yeah,
BKB's good item. Buy BKB, win games. I think that's just a bona fide.
Worth saying that again.
How does Luna fit into your sort of pub stomp carry consideration? Like, how legit is the hero in winning pubs? Does it feel like a Wraith King in Archon, or does it feel like trying to win with...
It doesn't feel like a Wraith King in Archon. I think Wraith King's got that ease of execution where you just get so fat and then they can't kill you and you run them down and you can carry from 20 minutes onwards. But where Luna's better, I think, than a Wraith King or someone like an Anti-Mage or trying like a PA, say, the Luna can be involved from minute 10 with an Eclipse or Lucent Beams to help those fights and be involved with skirmishes. But then also farms like a monster from 10 minutes to 20 minutes. And then at 20 minutes, you just keep farming like a monster. And I guess it's almost like a Juggernaut, but I feel like the farm rate is better because Jug's so reliant on, I guess,
Battle Fury
or Maelstrom.
Better,
I feel like you can farm way better on the Luna, and then your fight connections. She's a speedy hero. That is not to be glanced over. 325 movement speed. She's rapid.
Which all the listeners will know from Stat Corner 2 weeks ago. So.
Honestly, if her movement speed got nerfed 10, she would be like so much worse. That movement speed is so good for being able to flow across the map. So yeah, contrary to say a Wraith King, or I know a Jug has an Omni Slash, so let's get involved, but some of these other heroes, or even a PA, to get involved, you have to kind of quite hard commit. But if you're a Luna, it's very easy to just slap an Eclipse from the edge of a fight, or join the fight late, slap an Eclipse, and then go back to farming. I guess it's similar to the way an AM would turn up and try and get a kill here or there and go back and farm, but it's just not as powerful, I don't think, as the Luna. So I really like that from a pub perspective, because you don't just have to AFK. You can win your lane, you can stomp a lane as well, like I've said, better than I think other melee heroes can. So I think your lane winning potential is higher. Then your early mid-game interaction is typically that bit stronger and that bit easier, I feel. And then your farm is a dream, and it's very easy to just glaive farm, stack farm, triangles, get the man to split push farm. And I really like the farm acceleration. One downside, maybe your rush is not as strong as other carries, but usually your +2 heroes, you can still get it if you've got a gap of time after you've won a fight. So as a pub stomper, I think it's got everything.
You also got the Lunar Blessing bonus. And then don't want to sleep on the win a fight and we just take all their buildings because we have glaives component of the hero. Like, all it takes is one fight for you to lose your base. It pushes really fast. And
that's actually such a good point for winning pubs and closing out pubs. I've had about 3 or 4 wins where it's all of a sudden over, because all of a sudden your base is I've just gone through one lane into throw and you're dead 30 seconds. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you take one advantageous fight on their side of the map and it's like, oh, we can just take everything, it's crazy. The glaives, it's probably the best. Probably that and Metamorphosis are probably the best carry sieging things.
And I think for pubs that siege capability or fast push capability is very high value. More than, like, think about a PA, it could slice heroes so goddamn fast, but it's going to siege towers that bit slower. So it's all these trade-offs here and there. I do feel like the balance that Luna's got of, you're not as crazy as a PA, say, or like the Void's got this insane ultimate, but then let them both try and end the game after an advantageous fight, like Adam says. They couldn't do it the way a Luna could. So I feel like that aspect's so helpful to win in closed pubs.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I'm liking it, honestly.
Yeah.
I feel like it's weird, like people kind of flame it, or felt like people kind of flamed it as, a bit of a shit carry, shit hero. I've been seeing Gork play it a bit more, and he's been speaking positively about it.
It's been in a bad place for a while, I think. So it's got this bad reputation of like, we've got a Luna, like, people have bad memories. They don't remember winning pubs with Lunas in the past very much, so.
She's just been getting straight buffs, basically.
Yeah.
For a while.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Do you remember
some of these
727B, like, Moonglaves, I still thought it was like this. It used to scale 1, 2, 3, 6 in bounces. Now it's 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, it's so much better at low levels. One bounce is just laughable. And the fact that you got 3 extra bounces at level 4 of the spell, like, is just ridiculous. Now it's actually fine at early levels.
It's interesting reading this change as well, because there's a lot of little mini buffs, like the Moonglaze. Base attack's gone up. Base armor 0 to 2. That's significant.
Base agi increase.
Base agi up. Oh, okay. So base agi, but base damage down. But still, that's on the back of that previous buff. Lunar Blessing used to be attack percentage, but now it's flat. And I'm not sure what numbers.
I don't know. I think that might be a little worse, but you do get 200 more night vision, which is pretty damn good.
But yeah,
1,000 bonus night vision.
Yeah, that's crazy. But even just, the laning, if you've got level 2 Lunar Blessing, you both got plus 15 attack damage, it just helps you win that lane. 2 in Lucent, 2 in the Blessing. You're very strong, and I feel like at the moment you've got a lot of these aggressive position 3s, these strength guys like an Axe or Centaur getting in your face, and you can stand up to them as a Luna. You can't necessarily stand up to them with any melee pos 1, but I feel like Luna plus 1, pos 5 can really do it strong. And then this Lucent Beam is only minor again in the last couple mini patches. The level 10 talent is now the stun duration on Lucent Beam. It makes a difference. For a level 10 talent, I see noticeable value from it. And you probably can't say that about many level 10 talents. And then the 15 with the cooldown reduction, it's making this spell. So what's it take it to? The stun goes from 0.8 to 1.2. And then with the cooldown, it goes to a 2.5 second spell. So, cooldown. 2.5 second cooldown for a 1.2 second stun duration at 15. So you hit this crazy spike at 20 when you get Manta BKB and you're level 15 with the 2 talents. That's such a long time to stun someone on a 2.5 second cooldown. It's honestly really good talents. And so, a lot of the meta and these hero strengths get tweaked a little bit by bit, and the talents tweak them a bit by bit. But it feels like we've come to a point where Luna's actually not to be sniffed at.
Yeah, so just finally on the talents then, even though you're not going down the Ags sort of gimmicky Ags refresher build, it's still all about the Lucent Beam talents. Even 20, say, you're just taking that beam damage.
No, so at 20 I go
like
stats and I see other people with
stats. 8 stats is pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you just want the stats, and honestly the Lucent Beam at level 20 in that late game, it's not really the damage, it's all about that you say mini stun, 1.2 second stun on a 2.5 second cooldown.
But the lifesteal talent though can be obnoxious. Like, it can be so over the top combined with Satanic.
So that's 30%. Yeah. What's Satanic then? Satanic's 25%.
So you're getting 55. I don't know if it's additive, but if you, it's a significant amount of lifesteal on normal right clicks, and then once you pop, Unholy Rage or whatever, the Satanic active, like
it says it's additive.
So it's a lot. It's like a lot of lifesteal.
55% if you,
because this is a hero that hits for about 300.
Yeah,
so it's like you're healing for like 150 a hit without.
I wonder if you
glaives.
Would you lifesteal off the glaives?
Yeah, you lifesteal off the glaives.
Wow, that's insane. Well, I mean, it makes sense, but yeah, if you've got a 6, I mean, it'd be interesting to do the maths of all the glaive number damage. But if your first right click's 300 and then that bounces 6 times, yeah, getting less and less each time. That's a lot of aggregate damage just from one right click.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on Luna, or indeed anything else?
Honestly, it feels good. It feels like it's got all the kit I want. Win a lane, farms fast, loves to farm, but can get involved in skirmishes as and when. And I've had games where it's crit, like, so value. Just connect, get the Eclipse, just get 1 kill, go back to farm. Similar playstyle to a lot of position 1s, but it feels just easier to execute than like a jug running around a fight for 30 seconds trying to do something. And then late game's pretty fun, just mincing buildings with glaives.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, good times.
You're making me want to play Luna. I might have to get a Luna game out.
Maybe it was the anime that, because we watched the anime, Luna's like this fucking genocide queen.
Yeah.
Like, and then you play Luna, she's got all these voice lines about, I can't do an Irish accent, but she's like, don't, basically saying like, I'll fuck you up if you like get out of line. I'm like, shit, I gotta turn voice actors off when I play Luna.
Yeah.
Too much PTSD.
Yeah, I just feel too dark. How can you live with yourself? Well, there you go. That's episode 140 of New Meta Podcast. Hopefully it won't be too obvious that we had crippling technical problems, or at least I did. I'll see if I can get my editing skills out and sort that out. But in any case, one thing I can certainly sort out is a final whistle. So there you go, and we'll see you next week.